is WTF Nation Radio.
Stand up for the things I believe in, but I don't always do what's right. I'm the only hell my mama ever raised, but hell my mama tried. I am the last of a dying breed. There ain't many souls left like me. I'm a man of my word, that's a guarantee. I'm the last of a dying breed. Don't need much for me to get by. I don't fit in with the suit and the tie. You won't see me sitting high on a throne, so please tell the wolves that I'm finally home. I am the last of a dying breed. There ain't many souls left like me. I'm a man of my word, that's a guarantee. I'm the last of a dying breed. I'm a God-fearing man, I ain't afraid of my fate. I'm a lot like Drake, born 50 years too of a dying breed. There ain't many souls left like me. I'm a man of my word, that's a guarantee. I'm the last of a dying breed. I am the last of a dying breed. There ain't many souls left like me. I'm a man of my word, that's a guarantee. I'm the last of a dying breed.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
The horse, with beauty unsurpassed, strength immeasurable, and grace unlike any other, still remains humble enough to carry a man upon its back. When a service member or first responder takes an oath, he or she has mentally and physically committed themselves with self-sacrifice. From the front lines abroad to the very streets you live on in America, they protect. This oath is non-refundable and it is lifelong. Facing unimaginable dangers and unseen scars, these grounds are a place to recover and face any challenges head-on. As veterans and first responders ourselves, we know that battle all too well. From a simple talk with a friend on horseback to an entire debrief in the barn, this sanctuary has seen recovery take place time and time again. No hour of life is wasted that is spent in a saddle. The way we approach change isn't a new phenomenon. This animal has been with humans over 5,000 years. If you've ever been around a horse for long enough, you'll feel that thing, that electric trust. In that moment, nothing else is in your mind. When they turn into you, it's like the world disappears. We harness that moment to build skills off of. Repurposing requires flexibility, adaptability, and the willingness to challenge assumptions and conventional thinking. This approach can be applied to many areas in life, including business, education, and personal growth. To ride a horse is to fly without wings. This lesson and skills learned at War Horses will help reintegrate back into daily life. You'll learn coping mechanisms, improved communication skills, trust, and confidence that will help reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. These tools can be used every day to navigate life and take on many challenges. This may involve practicing mindfulness, setting boundaries, improving communication with loved ones. Transitioning back to society is hard on your own. And when you're at war horses, you're family, and families solve problems together.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
I can feel this in my ears. What is happening?
The voice of U.S. Army WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
All right. All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Friday Night Freedom, this 7th day of July, 2023. My name is Kaz, and that's not Massey. Pooky's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a show 2 weeks ago because that's my cycle. That's my that's when I do my thing. And Massey filled in for you, man. He did a fantastic freaking job, man. I like that guy. It was a lot of fun, man. We had a lot of fun here on Friday Night Freedom. And you were out, I don't know, running naked in the woods or something.
Yeah. being a crazy hillbilly, I am.
That's right. That's pretty cool, man.
Nation.
That's pretty cool. A vacation gives you a little chance to see family and recharge your batteries, and you're back.
Yes.
So if I did all the right things, we are broadcasting live on Kick. So if you go to kick.com and then search for Friday Night Freedom, we are there. So I don't have Kick pulled up. Maybe I should do that because that would be prudent. I don't know. I got the link somewhere. Okay, let me see if I'm up on the Kick.
You're up.
Look at that. We're on. How about that, man?
Mm-hmm.
I did it right.
You're up.
Look at that. I don't know how to mute the channel, so I'm just going to turn it off. All I know is I'm broadcasting live on Kick, which is pretty cool. It's a big old picture, too. My head's huge. So welcome back, Pooky, and welcome everyone here to Friday Night Freedom. Friday Night Freedom is a weekly or a bi-weekly, we're every other week, bi-weekly. Broadcast here and on WTF Nation Radio and on Kick. Kick is my channel, but I broadcast for WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio is the voice of U.S. Army WTF Moments on Facebook. So you can go to U.S. Army WTF Moments on Facebook or WTF Nation Radio or WTF NR, and you'll find us. We do shows 6 nights a week. We are pretty consistent. Except for, it's a holiday week and recovering from a holiday week. So a lot of summer things are happening. So we haven't had any shows this whole last week. Actually, the last show that broadcast was, I believe it was my show 2 weeks ago. I think I'm turned around. I'm really turned around. I had 2 days of work this week. So I worked on Wednesday. I worked on Thursday. I had today off. It's just been nuts. So on Sunday, you can join us for the Sports Bar. They have a Kick page. Monday edition with Ice, he has a Kick page. Pop Culture Warrior, he's the guy that started us on Kick, so of course he's got a Kick page. The Smoke Pit, I'm not sure if they're active yet, and Sergeant's Time has a Kick page. And then we're here on every other Friday for Friday Night Freedom. We got a couple of shows coming up this week on the Smoke Pit and on Pop Culture Warrior. David Hayter, who was the voice of Solid Snake on Metal Gear, is going to be here on the 11th, on Tuesday, talking with Pop Culture Warrior. And on the following day, on Wednesday, Army veteran and singer-songwriter who looks a lot like you, Pooky, is going to be on the Smoke Pit. So Pookie, you can definitely tune in on Wednesday and see your doppelganger.
I've seen a lot of doppelgangers.
Yeah, he's got a big glorious beard like yours, and he just when I saw a picture of him, I'm just like, hey, that's Pookie. I didn't know he played guitar.
I do, but I can't.
Same here. I do, but I can't. I'm so out of practice with that. And Rigo says we're up on Twitter also. So we're on 2 Facebook pages. We're on Kick, YouTube, and what did I forget? Twitter.
The Twitch.
And Twitch.
We're not showing up on it.
We're not on the Twitch. We're not showing up on it. I didn't see that option.
I do not know what's going on with that, but no.
Okay. I'll explain that to you later.
All right.
But tonight we have a guest. I want to do office business on the air. So we do have a guest tonight. And we're going to talk about honor flights. So an honor flight is conducted by nonprofit organizations dedicated to transporting as many United States military veterans as possible to see the memorials of the respective war that they fought in Washington, D.C., at no cost to the veterans. That doesn't mean it's free just because it's no cost to the veterans. Funds need to be raised and collected to make this happen. Tonight we have the honor of talking to Gary Blanton and Holly Walton from Skippers Jeep Invasion. They will be here to talk about their event coming up in just a couple of weeks. It's a fundraising event, and all the proceeds are going towards funding the Honor Flight Network. I'm sure they're not looking to completely fund it, but they're just they're throwing their hat in the ring and they're helping out. So we're going to have Gary and Holly here at the top of the hour. So it'll be 8 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock your time. I'm in Central Time. Pookie's over on the East Coast.
East Coast.
So you chimed in right before we started. You said you got some weather moving in.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I was looking at the map. I don't know what time it's supposed to be moving in. We had some rain and some thunder, but the storm looks pretty wicked. I don't know. Ship was saying something like, "Hey, yeah, it is a pretty wicked storm coming through." Yeah, so I don't know if I just disappear. I apologize to everyone. It's my, shitty power system just shitting out.
So I heard, and I don't think this came from a meteorologist, but thunder only happens when it's raining.
Thunder only happens.
Oh, we're gonna get Fleetwood Mac is pretty rabid on the copyright strikes, man.
You can't copyright me with 3 words.
All right. Hola, Stella. How you doing? Welcome to the show. From Panama. So while you were up in the wilderness, you didn't get out on the river drinking alcohol, did you? Were you?
No. Shit, if I would have got on that river, I would have died. That was straight whitewater rapids at that point.
Well, the melt's happening. It's been a little bit warm, and there's been a whole lot of rain, especially in that area that you were in. So it's coming down. I was my daughter sent me a picture, and they're still getting frost in the mornings.
It's crazy.
That's stupid. It's been so wet up in Montana, which is good because the wildfire risk is going to be a little bit lower this year than it has been.
It's good though. That's good.
Same for Colorado's been having a lot of water. Wyoming.
Colorado was so green. Like, I'd never seen that part of the United States that green in my life. Like, there's wildflowers just growing all over the place. It was colorful. I'm colorblind, and when I say something's colorful, it's got to be colorful. like holy crap! Like, there's purple mountain flowers just all over the place. It was just, I was like, this is cool. I like this.
You gonna move?
Just the bite. No, I can't afford that shit. No.
Yeah, it is pretty expensive up in that part.
Why? I was eyeballing Wyoming a little bit. That's a little bit cheaper on and the taxes. Wyoming has really good taxes.
Wyoming does have a favorable. I mean, your taxation is theft, right? Mm-hmm. But they have a more palatable, more favorable tax structure. I suppose
that's just the only thing they have is like a consumption tax. That's about it. It's like a 5 or 6% consumption. I was looking at a house. I was like, oh, I really like it out here. Wyoming. There's not that many people out here. Oh,
No.
the taxes look good. Oh, I can buy a shit ton of property cheap. Oh, this is great. I'm thinking to myself, it's like, yeah, by the time I get around to doing it in the next like 10 years, all the Californians will figure it out and done. Fuck that shit.
I mean, I haven't driven all the way through Wyoming. I've driven just on the interstate from, you know, across Colorado or up Colorado through Wyoming and up into Montana. So I've only
I was looking
gone
at
from
places
south to
in
north.
like Cheyenne. Cheyenne was where I was like looking because they got a good VA.
And there's actually
it's-
people that live there in
Yeah,
closer
yeah.
proximity.
And it's close to Colorado, where it was close to my family, so I could skip around if I need to. But yeah,
There's a lot of land mass between points A and B through the most of that state. I think that's a state that's got fewer than 1 million in the entire state.
I think the last time I heard it was like maybe 800,000.
Yeah.
The entire state, which is awesome. You know, drive that no traffic jams.
So the reason I brought up the canoeing and drinking and stuff is this is just an interesting story. It doesn't have to. It's not necessarily veteran related, but it is summertime, so it's definitely summertime. So a lot of us are going to be spending at least some of our days on the water to beat the summer heat. Just as important as drinking and driving prevention is drinking and boating prevention. So this first story takes us to Christina Lake, which is in British Columbia, Canada. But it's right across the border from Washington State. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police say that they were called to Christina Lake on the afternoon of June 29th after someone reported seeing someone that appeared to be intoxicated in a canoe. So it's not a huge lake. You can see all the way across it. It's kind of it's oblong, but you can see like the left and right sides. The ashore, so it's not huge. It's not a huge lake. So the police say that they made contact with the 51-year-old local resident, but he refused to comply with directions. Apparently, they were barking directions, and he's just like, The man eventually made his way to the dock, and then he hid under there for several minutes, again refusing to comply. The man was eventually taken into custody where he was investigated for impaired operation of a conveyance, in this case, a canoe. The man was released later the same day and was ordered to appear in court on a date of September 19th, 2023. So Canada has some serious restrictions and penalties for BUI and having alcohol on a boat. They're pretty nasty. I remember my brother goes fishing up in Canada with some friends, and he says that they're pretty anal up there. He's on the east. He goes to the east side of Canada. British Columbia is of course on the western half. But in Canada, if you're convicted of boating under the influence, the minimum penalties are the first offense, a minimum fine of $600. Second offense, a minimum fine of $600, and you will spend at least 14 days in prison. Third and subsequent offenses, a minimum fine of $600 and at least 90 days in prison for being intoxicated and operating a boat. But that's not it. Canada, alcohol may only be consumed on a boat if the boat is licensed for alcohol consumption and
taxes.
Yeah, it has a permanent toilet, cooking facilities, and sleeping facilities.
Yeah.
And it can't be under operation. It has to be anchored or docked in order for you to legally consume alcohol on a boat.
And that's why I don't think any cruise ship in the world flies the Canadian flag.
That is a spectacular point. I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking, how fucking inconvenient. You got to buy a big-ass boat with all of those things on it in order to throw an anchor and have a beer. But their blood alcohol limits are similar, are the same as driving, 0.8 or 0.08. 0.08 blood alcohol. Of course, they do that in milligrams per liter or some shit like that because they suck. But in the United States, operation of a boat while intoxicated is a federal offense, subject to a $1,000 fine The current federal legal limit is 0.08 blood alcohol content, same as Canada. The consumption of alcohol on a boat in the United States isn't necessarily legal, but it's not outlawed. It's important to know your limits. So you can have alcohol on a boat. I think it's a bigger offense for you not to have enough life jackets for the amount of passengers you have on the boat.
Survival of the fittest.
But yeah, you can. I mean, I'm not saying you can, but it's not.
So what classifies a boat a boat? That's my big question.
Well, and I was wondering that too. I mean, you float down like the Brazos River or the Guadalupe River.
It's like Guadalupe. I got a whole case of beer, and she like.
But you know, whenever I floated, I would always rent a tube for myself, and then I'd rent a tube that had a cooler in it, and you just fill that thing with freaking ice and beer.
3 or 4 of your dude, like friends, like linked together. We got the beer in the middle, and we're just sitting there, just pounding down beer, BSing. That is a mode of conveyance in Canada. So, you know, conveyance. I guess that's fucking crazy. Your shoes could get. Oh, if you think about it, like conveyance, a mode of conveyance. You could be walking on the street.
Your legs. You're walking on your legs.
Just say.
Stefan chimed in. He says, according to the Coast Guard, any object that floats can be considered a vessel. So that would be a mode of conveyance.
So my balls are a vessel?
Next. We're not talking about Pookie's balls here on Friday night. We talk about a lot of stuff, but I don't want to talk about Pookie's balls.
I had to do it.
Paddleboard, raft, cooler. Yeah. I mean, we had inner tubes with little, like a plastic bottom, flexible plastic bottom so you don't break your tailbone.
Pool noodles are a conveyance.
Oh, no. Those little arm floaties?
Little arm floaties, like the Popeye arms. Conveyance, you know, all right. You gotta, that's why I don't like some laws. They're so vague.
They're vague and they're open to interpretation. So if you have a crappy lawyer, I guess you can get hemmed up pretty good. I've been kind of stuck on lawyer shows. I started watching Suits on Netflix. It's good. It's good. There's a whole bunch of no names on there, except for one of the girls on there. I started watching it, and I was like 2 episodes into it. I'm like, dude, that looks like Meghan Markle. Like Prince William's wife.
Oh.
Sure as shit. I looked in the credits. That was her. Or that is her. Wait. She did like
she's an actress?
Yeah, and she doesn't suck. She's good. She's talented. But it's really good, man. It's good. It's a good show. I'm like in season 4 now. Almost all the way through season 4, and it's good. It is really, really good. But yeah, I was surprised to see Meghan Markle in there. So another mode of conveyance is your vehicle. Your 4-wheel truck, your
bicycle,
bike, yeah. Rigo Munoz asked me, how's Montana? I'm not in Montana, unfortunately. My kids live up in Montana.
Here in Montana's taxes are a little bit batshit crazy, but
well, there's no sales tax. I mean, you buy a car at sticker price, whatever. You can walk through a car lot, and if it says $20,000, the car costs $20,000.
Okay, so no sales consumption tax, but it's income, property, blah blah blah.
Property tax. I had 5 acres up there. I think I paid $300 a year for property taxes.
Not too bad, actually.
Yeah, it was. I had 5 acres, and I had a well, so the taxes are actually higher than vacant land. If you put a house on it, it's another level. But if you have livestock on it, I had 5 acres, so I could have had horses, goats, whatever. That lowers the tax because you have an ag exemption, so it's all relative, but it's not much. I mean, here, I must pay about $5 or $6 grand a year for my house.
Yeah, South Carolina's crazy.
Yeah.
Don't move to South Carolina. If you have plans to move to South Carolina, stay away. They can't fix your roads, and they want to tax the shit out of everything and not fix anything. So don't move to South Carolina.
Yeah, of course, and it's all relative on the value of your house too. So more expensive, the more taxes you have, and you can do the homestead exemptions, which knocks off a good chunk of it, and I'm a disabled veteran, so that knocks off another little chunk. So every little bit helps. But they're actually talking. There's a bunch of people that are getting in the local office here that are like, the taxes are out of control because people are now beginning to become taxed out of their houses. Especially this last year, my taxes went up a lot, like by almost 50%. I know there's a limit, but the way that they do that, the way they get around that is they just tax the shit out of the value of your land. My exemptions are for the value of the home that sits on the land, so they can do whatever the fuck they want to the land. And that's really jacking people up. So there's a lot of new politicians that are implementing new laws like capping the rate of increase, which it's already capped, but
no, it's like every year, like, oh, just a penny, it's just a penny. But then a penny on what? Like every $100, every $1,000, you know, like okay, yeah, they get
per 100. I think
it depends.
Per 100.
Yeah, it depends on what state per state you're in, but that's just nuts though. Like Richmond, Virginia. When I was living in Virginia up there, like Richmond, there was old people getting like just foreclosed on like no one else's business because they were just like property taxing the hell out of them into like retirement homes because they just wanted to. It was like stealing their houses at that point. I was like, nah, this is fucked up. Yeah. Virginia's a horrible state.
I live in an old neighborhood. It's a gentrified neighborhood. Meaning the houses here were built in the 80s. So they probably, I mean, brand new, you could have bought a house in this neighborhood for probably $50,000-$60,000.
Oh, that's exactly where I live right now. I think that was the open, like, though I think the houses were like super expensive, like $100,000 back in that time. But now, everything's balancing out. But
well, the thing is, their value still kind of remains. It's relative to the price that it was new. If they bought it new and they've lived here for a long time. And there's a couple in my neighborhood that are like that. But so their taxes can go up, and it's only a very small percentage of that $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 that they paid for the house. I come in and I'm buy a house in this neighborhood. All of a sudden, let's say I paid, let's just say $100,000 for the house. Well, that is a comp, and that increases the value of the surrounding houses. And when COVID hit, and the price of lumber went up, then all of a sudden the price of everything went up. This house that I'm staying in that I'm living in right now is worth more than twice what I paid for it. I'm not saying it's worth that much. It's just that's the value of it. And people are selling their houses, and that's jacking the value or the value of all the surrounding houses just via comp.
We're having that here too. A lot of people, it's been like you see houses up for sale like crazy lately, and I was like, what the fuck?
It's mellowing out a little bit. It's not as batshit crazy as it was, but still. Yeah, this is the first year. This is the first year that my taxes have gone up. They've remained flat. They went down one year and they've remained flat for the other 4 years. So I'm not complaining at all. But I know if this starts to become a trend, like year after year after year, tax increase, then you have the ability. I have the ability to protest it. Musa says, where do I live? I live in North Central Texas, in Fort Worth.
Dave said, I think after the age of 65, you should be exempt from paying property tax. And I will argue with you on the simple fact that I think property tax is unlawful because you own something. You should not owe the state money because of it.
Yeah, even if you paid off your house, you paid whatever, and
your
for
car.
30 years. Oh yeah, a car every year.
You pay tax right off the bat when you buy the car, and then what was it? The registration, the insurance, inspection, blah blah blah. Then they hit you every year because you own that property. I'm sorry, no.
That's how they fund. That's how they fund the schools, though. It's like 80%. I want to say 80% of the taxes that I pay go to fund schools and colleges and whatnot.
The fund the schools.
Well, yeah, whatever.
You say that, but you see how these kids are walking around right now. They can't even do basic long division in 9th grade. So what's going on with the schools?
You should see, I mean, in Texas, I don't know how many other states, maybe Florida is the same way, but our high schools have nicer stadiums for their football teams than most any other state that I've ever seen.
Texas is always like that. I got this college right here, right next to my house, Coastal Carolina University. I don't know what they teach at the school, but I think the only thing that really matters at that school is its athletics division, and that's it. And they've got a nice stadium, they got a nice football team, they got a nice soccer team, they got a nice, you name it, like it's all athletics. Why go to a school if you? I just go to school for 4 years to play sports while your parents go off and enjoy. I don't know. I can't figure that out.
Or you play sports and then you have like a kinetics or a kinesiology degree, or
there's a lot of sports. There's a lot of sports medicine.
Yeah,
that comes out of here. But, I mean, that's cool.
Kinesiology, that's the word.
Kinesiology.
So anyway, where I was trying to lead to is some might say that this story is fake news, but I've done a couple of other stories and people get back are like, hey man, that was disproven, or that's just hearsay. Well, I think this is going to be another one of those. This is just hearsay, and then it ends up being true. There's a concerted effort. I think we can all agree that they're going to aggressively phase vehicles with gas and diesel powered engines off of the road. I'm sure we can all agree on that. The Biden administration has set a goal of having 50% of all new vehicle sales be electric by 2030. Seems like a long way away, but it's only 6.5 years away. The federal government is pledging our tax dollars to, quote, provide more than 100,000 public EV chargers to the more than 135,000 now available throughout the country. So what does this mean? We can argue the merits and shit, but we'll do that another time. But the fact is that with every new EV hitting the road, there is a substantial amount of tax revenue that will be lost due to the decline in the purchase of gasoline. According to Wikipedia, when I was in college, we weren't allowed to use Wikipedia as a source.
Unless it was math or science, right?
Yeah, because math and science are pretty finite. It's just they're definite. A formula is a formula. But if you're going to talk about a concept or whatever, you can't. We weren't allowed. I don't know what it is now. But anyway, according to Wikipedia, federal gasoline tax is 18.4 cents a gallon, and diesel is taxed federally at 24.4 cents per gallon. All states add their own tax schedule. Texas and Oklahoma adds about 20 cents per gallon, regardless of whether it's diesel or gas. California is the biggest offender of all the states, adding 66.98 cents per gallon for a gallon of gasoline and 93.08 cents per gallon for diesel. This revenue for all states and federal governments will take a hit. Hell, they already have. EVs are pretty damn...
You said California or Pennsylvania?
Well, this is a 2022 graph. I didn't like the way the 23 graph looked. But the data that I'm spitting out is current as of 23.
All right. Yeah, I was I've always known Pennsylvania to be the highest.
Pennsylvania was bad last year. But since last year, I think like 6 or 9 states have upped their taxes, state-wise, the state taxes for gasoline. So don't worry, though. The government's not going to lose out on any of this money because they've got a plan. Check this out. Road use charges are already a thing in Oregon, Utah, and Virginia. Many more states are imposing additional taxes or registration fees on electric vehicles. They're also adding per kilowatt hour taxes to electricity accessed at charging stations. Rumor has it that a multitude of states are actively pursuing mileage-based user fees and vehicle miles traveled taxes, meaning that on your OBD2 port, they're going to have you connect something in your car that tracks your miles.
Yeah. I've been saying this. I've been saying this for the last 5 years. It's just this wait until they start figuring out how to tax EVs, and then you're gonna be like, why did I leave my gas engine?
So here's my last sentence. I said, I think in the new future, the money saved by driving EVs is going to get gobbled up by fees and taxes. I mean, because I went from a gas engine, which was it was an economy. It wasn't an economy. It was a CRV. But rather than spending $50 every couple of weeks, I'm spending $25, and I'm driving 2.5, 3 weeks off of that because I bought a hybrid because the price was right and the gas prices were high. So I feel okay with that, but not EVs, but the hybrids are kind of in that middle ground. You're still going to buy gas, but you're a lot more economic than other cars. And all these fees coming up for EVs, sure, that sucks. But what if you're still driving a gas car? You're going to be paying the increased gasoline taxes. Right. And you're going to be paying the per mile taxes on all the other road usage.
Oh, that's
bullshit.
what they're trying to price it out. So like just imagine like someone just getting by paycheck to paycheck and they're driving around in a jalopy and this hits. They're going to get stuck with not being able to drive at that point. Huh? That's the crazy part about it if you think about it. Like, I got to buy an EV that's like $60,000. I can't afford a $60,000. What you going to price people out of their homes because they got to drive to work? Huh?
No, but you're going to save the planet though. Well,
no, I haven't.
Curtis Lindauer says, "I love my hybrid. I love my hybrid too. It's a good car, man.
Hybrids are cool as shit, man.
I'm not out to set any speed records or nothing. I get from my home to work, and when I turn off my car, it says thank you for driving a hybrid, and it says your gas mileage was 55 miles a gallon. I'm like, hell yeah.
Those hybrids were a good like stepping point to the EV. That's why I was looking at it. Like, I was like, the hybrids are good. Go gas. All right, hybrid. I could still afford to put gas in there. Maybe hook my car up to the charger in the evening or whatever to get that extra little battery power. But that was a stepping stone to full. But now they're just like, hey, everyone needs, a battery powered car that they got to charge at their house, and our infrastructure can't even like fucking handle that shit. No,
you can't even. I mean, without modifications, you can't really effectively charge a plug-in EV in your house. You need
it's
that.
It says a 240. Man.
Well, yeah. How many people have an outlet in their garage for 220 or 240 or whatever?
Hey, if you want me to wire one, I'll wire one for $1,500. Just heads up. Man.
I mean, because you'll hire an electrician. They'll come in. They'll evaluate the capacity of your panel. Mm-hmm. If I wanted to get that, I'd have to upgrade my panel. So I'm looking at probably $5 or $6 grand just for that.
Oh, I redneck the hell out of that.
Oh, so would I, but it wouldn't be within code, and I wouldn't be able to sell the house.
Yeah.
I don't plan on living in my house forever. Oh, Stefan said the dryer. Yes, your dryer is, if you have an electric dryer. But it's not. I don't think that it's rated. I think that's a 60 amp circuit. I think you need more than that for charging an EV.
No, it's not a 60. I think EV's 60. I think a dryer's only like 30. A 40 or 30. 30
yeah, I think it's 30. I think you're right.
But you gotta have some heavy duty shit behind your EV. Like it'll push up there. But
hell no, buy a transformer. It's cheaper.
No, David Cunningham said it right, and I think Japan's pushing this, and I really hope Japan pushes it good so the rest of the world can see it. But hydrogen, that hydrogen cell crap where you just desalinize water, get the hydrogen out of it, like ocean water, boom, you've got fuel. That is legit shit.
But can you extract enough hydrogen from water to power a vehicle?
Yes.
I've seen these stupid videos of guys that have these little project cars, and they're like, look at this, and the car's just like idling, and they're creating hydrogen, and they're powering their car with it because they have an empty gas tank.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be able to even drive to the gas day or to the gas station, to the grocery store.
This hydrogen cell shit works kind of like a hybrid kind of thing, where there is a battery still kind of involved with it. Mm-hmm. But instead of pulling from the gasoline, I think you're pulling from the hydrogen power. So when your battery needs to charge, and it pulls it. So if you need to refuel, you just hit the gas station and move. I think it's like a split second. You're talking high pressure gas, like pow. Your cell's filled. You're back on the road. Super cheap. you do it through desalinization, is from what we're saying. So like California, all them, they've got like the prime real estate for producing this shit. Japan especially too, because I mean they're an island nation, so they'll be able to do that. But it's better than that whole like cobalt. Like let's burn like coal and oil, fossil fuels to power our fucking EVs because we think we're saving the world at this point.
Well, it's better. I mean, my fuel bill, my petroleum bill, my gas bill for my car is it's more than, or it's less than half of what it used to be. So that's a good stepping stone. And you mentioned that earlier. I think a lot of effort should have been done with let's go to hybrid and then let's really push EVs, just to allow for more technology, more development to get more than 330 miles on a charge. I mean, it's going to take you, hell of a long time to drive across the country. People do that. I mean, I'd like to do that. I like to drive to Montana every once in a while. It'd take me, it's 24 hours worth of driving for me to get to where I need to go in Montana, but it would take me probably 36 hours.
You gotta stop because you got a Netflix movie.
Yeah, stop.
Charge your shit.
Yeah. I mean, who wants to do that? I don't. I want to get there, but I like the drive. I really love the drive.
My big thing is just imagine, take the entire state of Florida, get rid of all gas, diesel, whatever, just rip them out of there and make everything like an EV, like automated EV trucks and all that stuff. Imagine what an evacuation during a hurricane would look like. Because everyone's trying to charge at the last minute, like, oh God, I gotta get out of here.
Oh, the power grid went down.
Yes, the interstate would be like the boneyards in Iraq of just vehicles, like people. Like I remember back in Houston.
Oh yeah,
what was it?
Yes, I was gonna say the hurricane. Yes. That whole highway was just nothing.
They evacuated Houston. Like it was like 130 people died just because of evacuation. They were sitting there stuck, like they died of thirst.
And this isn't just a couple of lanes of traffic. What they do down there in Houston is they shut down the southbound lanes.
Yes.
And then turn all of the traffic into northbound lanes. So you've got, 10 lanes of traffic all heading north.
But it deadlocked. Boom. Yep. And that was crazy. But just imagine like Florida. Florida does the same thing. Like they'll switch everything out. Like there's no north or south. Everything's north and out.
Yep.
And everyone's driving their EVs. Oh, I got to pull over to my charging station. How many charging stations are there? So there'll be like lines backed up. People's cars will start dying. So now what? They're walking. You keep a generator in your trunk so you can charge your car. Like,
in order to do an effective job, you need to have a 220 volt charger or a generator.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like people are just going to be like pouring gasoline into their generators to charge their car. Like none of that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's pretty counterintuitive. Holly said that there's one. What did she say? There's one that she knows of, charging station.
Oh, we got them all over the place around here, but
I've seen a lot of them in like a grocery store parking lots, mall parking lots. Costco. Even at my work, at the main plant. I work at a satellite flight research plant, so we don't have, not a lot of folks work there, so they don't have it. But at the main plant, where the majority of the engineers work, there's a whole line of Tesla charging stations, and then another line of EV charging stations. Just a mixed bag of EV charging stations. But I heard that Tesla's going to be releasing their Tesla charging stations to be able to just charge any EV. There's like, and this is turning into the charging cable thing for cell phones. Android's got one kind. You got the lightning cable for Apple.
I'm surprised IEEE didn't step in on this shit like right off the bat and said, "Hey, there's got to be a standard for this shit." And that's what blows my mind about it. Like,
I think they ought to standardize everything.
Yeah, IEEE steps in and says, "Hey, every charger should look like this, and it should have this capability," and bam, problem solved. But
David says you'll see a lot of electric vehicles in the junkyard when it comes time for that $20,000 battery change. Yeah. Tesla actually gives you a credit for the battery change, and they pay. I think they pay for the change. They pay for the disposal of the Tesla battery.
That makes sense.
So that's kind of cool.
I think a lot of electronics companies should do that. Like pay for, like, you buy a product from them, part of that purchase should be included in the recycling, like monitors, hardware, like computer hardware and stuff like that. No?
Yeah, especially, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. You know, you kind of paying it forward along with the cost.
You're selling a product. At least give me the guarantee that you'll recycle it for me, instead of me having to go out and just like shoot it with my shotgun and be a redneck and burn it with gasoline.
And now with lithium ion, all that, if you get a zero charge on a lithium ion battery, that's very, very explosive. It's
yeah,
they're very unstable at 0 volts. But yeah, I ordered. I don't have a gasoline powered mower. I have a very small yard, so I bought a Ryobi battery powered lawnmower, and it does fine. It does fine. It's a 40 volt, and then I bought
one of those Roomba yard things. Instead of, if you're gonna go that way, you got a small yard, you might as well have the Roomba just cutting your grass all the time.
Meh. Yeah. I actually like cutting the grass. So, that gets me outside. It gets me doing something other than, being inside. So that is my outdoor activity for the most part. But when I ordered, I finally had a battery failure. It didn't charge. I couldn't reset it. If you take it apart, you can, you look up on YouTube, and there's ways that you can reset the battery so its memory is gone, and it'll recharge again. But it wasn't. It was failed. It was a failed battery. So I'm like, crap, I got to order these. So I went to get an OEM battery, and those are like $125 just for a 4 amp hour, 40 volt battery.
I was about to say up to $200.
Yeah. And I was just like, man, this sucks. I'm like, I really don't want to do off brand, but I did it anyway. And even those batteries that I bought that are off brand, they came with, it was like a box within a box. And I bought 2 batteries, and they gave me postage paid box and a sticker to send the old batteries back so they can recycle
them. My county just does all that shit for free for us, which is awesome.
I think I can take batteries down to our city dump, and they have a recycle spot there for it. What's up, John Parker Zanoff? So I think I can hit one more story. So I have to choose between Barbie, drugs. Oh, I got to do the drugs. Okay, let's do both of them. We're going to do Barbie, and then we're going to do drugs here on Friday Night Freedom. Yay! Okay, the Barbie movie, the new Barbie movie coming out. It's not going to be shown in Vietnam for reasons, because Vietnam says that regardless of it being the highly anticipated Barbie movie, Vietnam has pledged to that due to the content, they find it offensive. The movie starring Margot Robbie as Barbie and Ryan Gosling as Ken was scheduled to premiere in Vietnam on the 21st of July, the same day as the United States. But now the Warner Brothers film will not be able to count Vietnam as an area of revenue. The issue is that Barbie includes scenes, and this is crazy. It includes scenes with the U-shaped 9-dash line in the South China Sea. And when I read this, I'm like, what the hell is that? So I had to look it up. So here's a map picture of that. The line shown on Chinese maps to indicate their claims over the area despite Vietnam. The Philippines, Brunei, Malaysia, and Taiwan, who are also claiming parts of that same maritime area. So if you look at that, the red line, and I had to outline it myself because it was a green line and it was hard to see. So that red line is what China says. That all belongs to China, according to China. But that area in the middle that has that blue line around it, those are that's the contested area. But China says it's all theirs. These other countries say that these special areas belong to them. But China's asshole or whatever.
You mean West Taiwan?
West Taiwan. Sorry, I did misspeak. So Vietnam stated, they actually released a statement that says, quote, "We do not grant license for the American movie Barbie to release in Vietnam because it contains this offending image."
Well,
it's offending to them. So Barbie isn't the first film banned to include that includes the 9-dash line. The Vietnamese government also blocked the DreamWorks animated film Abominable and the action-adventure film Uncharted for the same reason. Netflix removed the Australian spy drama Pine Gap in 2021 for their inclusion of the line. So I haven't seen Abominable, but I have seen Uncharted, and I have seen the Netflix series Pine Gap. But both of those are very good, regardless of the existence of the 9-dash line.
I think McCarthy might have been right back in the 50s.
What did he say?
I'm going to go there.
So, all in all, this amounts to a little less revenue for the country of Vietnam and an increased revenue for the bootleggers. Man, I remember going to the bazaar in Iraq and in Kuwait and spending like $2 or $3 for a bootleg movie that was like a new release in the United States.
Wound up with a virus on your computer.
I don't care. I don't care. Okay, time for us to do drugs. So, no, this isn't a drug story about the cocaine found in the White House. I would love to talk about it, but the story is still very, very young. And all of the facts, all of the disinformation and misdirection haven't come out yet, so I'm going to wait.
Okay.
What has been released is memes.
Oh, yes.
I mean, memes were just automatically like, boom, White House crisis. So all of these memes, there's so many good ones. I don't know what to say, man. I think they're just hilarious. That's kind of how we deal with shit in the United States is with memes.
I got one thing to say.
What's that?
If the DEA found any drugs in my house, I'd be sitting in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Instantly. Even though I said, that's not mine. That could be the tourists. That could have been the friends. No, you're in possession.
So, I don't even know. I heard it was the West Wing. Or was it like somewhere on the grounds? I have no idea. And I'm not going to get into the supposed facts of all this. I'm just going to show a couple of memes. And then we're going to take a break and then wait for our awesome guest to arrive. So look at that. It's the new pillow guy. Use promo code Big Guy to get 10% off.
10% for the Big Guy.
This is my favorite. That's Joe Biden and his dog. I don't know. Maybe his dog's got an issue. I wonder how much coke was found. Was someone like railing coke off of the damn toilet seat, or?
All I know is that they brought hazmat in for it because they didn't know what it was.
Well,
the hunters probably running like shit. They found the stash.
Well, you gotta give hazmat something to do. So I'm sure that they were like, "What? This isn't a drill? Okay." But
it's not the first time cocaine's been found in a White House, so I'm just gonna put that there.
Of all of the memes, this one comes from, and I'm sure it was tactically acquired. This one comes from Raph, one of the former hosts here on WTF Nation Radio. He and Deal Brandon did a show called The Green Room, which was like 100%. It was like a pro marijuana, recreational marijuana show. This is what I got from them. So I thought that was just really good campaign sign for Joe running in 24, yes. President Biden.
Mm-hmm. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, right?
So what I did want to talk about, other than the memes, was there was a drug bust in France, and it was pretty cool. The story I'm talking about is about a pilot operating a small aircraft over a remote region of France, dumped dozens of bags suspected of containing drugs after he was intercepted by a French fighter jet over the weekend. Authorities were alerted to a single-seater tourist plane after it flew near a nuclear plant, which is restricted airspace. The Rafale jet, one of France's most modern fighters, went on to check on the aircraft and then witnessed very erratic behavior in the cockpit. Over the course of several minutes, he saw a door open and then packages being yeeted out of it. I added yeeted just for
Yes.
Because the French sucks. After the pilot landed at a nearby airstrip, he was arrested. The local prosecutor's office says that a pilot is a Polish national with a history of drug offenses. Investigators found 15 packages scattered across the countryside containing a total of about 70 pounds of a, quote, white powder that is being analyzed. In addition to the cocaine that was recovered, this is in the same article, I didn't alter this at all. First they called it white powder and then they called it cocaine. In addition to the cocaine that was recovered, and that's what they recovered. I don't know if they got all of the bag or all of the packages or whatever. They confiscated about 45,000 euros, roughly the equivalent of $49,000 in cash, was found in the cockpit of the small plane, which was also registered in Poland. And no, I don't think Eric Clapton was piloting that aircraft. So I don't know, man. I mean, the French are on it. They've got a lot. I've watched a lot of drug interdiction shows, like on Vice and on different channels on the Discovery Channel. They're on it. They're on it. People, driving, flying. I think they got their pulse on or their finger on the pulse of what's happening. It's just a matter of time before all these folks get busted. But I think there's just more supply than anybody can deal with.
Oh, yeah.
So John Parker Zanoff says, I got to do Friday Night Freedom. I got to do a Friday Night Freedom plaque thing as your U.S. Army WTF Moments official vendor. Yes. Oh, dude, are you the one that makes the coin holders? I've been meaning to get a hold of you. I need one. So I think we're going to take a short break. It's about 7 minutes long. And when we come back, we're going to be talking to our guests. We're going to be talking about the honor flight. We're going to be talking about the effort in order to raise some money for the honor flight, because the honor flights aren't free. They're free for veterans, but they're not free. So we will. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back. Shots.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
I gave up everything to be alone, to be the background noise in strangers' homes. I'm leaving everything to do with you in shallow graves. My body's gone, but you can find my soul in radio I'm ready to let this go. I'm ready to go. My skin was burned, my skin was cut, my soul was beaten down. I let my heart get in the way, that's why I'm bleeding now. I've been the victim and the thief of stolen innocence. That's why I'm lying in a sea of my ambivalence. I gave up everything to be alone, to be the background noise in strangers' homes. And I'm leaving everything to do with you in shallow graves. My body's gone, but you can find my soul in radio waves. I'm hurt by actions, hurt by words, hurt by my own design. And I'll find a way to make a mess when everything is fine. And when it's all been said and done, my soul goes back inside.
WTF Nation Radio.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
All right, everybody, we are back for the second half of WTF Nation Radio here on WTFNationRadio.com, Facebook, U.S. Army WTF Moments. Let me turn down this music at least a little bit. An honor flight is conducted by nonprofit organizations dedicated to transporting as many United States Army military veterans as possible to see the memorials of the respective war that they fought in Washington, D.C. at no cost to the veterans. It doesn't mean that they're free. Funds need to be raised and things need to happen. Tonight we have the honor of talking to Gary Blanton and Holly Walton from Skippers Jeep Invasion, and they're here to talk to the WTF Nation about their event coming up in just a couple of weeks. And it's a fundraising event with proceeds going to the Honor Flight Network. So thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. This is kind of it wasn't really a short notice thing, but I do a show every 2 weeks, and so I've had a week to prepare. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Really great for you to be here. At first, I was just like, okay, honor flights. I know what an honor flight is, but I really didn't understand what an honor flight was. And so it took a lot of looking into. So I have some questions, and you guys are doing a fundraising event for this. And this is why I asked you if there was like someone from the Honor Flight Network there with you. But I think that you guys can actually answer the questions. So what connects you guys? And I guess this question goes for each of you. What connects you to the mission to throw this event for the Honor Flight Network?
Well, for me, I'm a veteran from the 10th Mountain Division, but I also am a Jeeper. And what I found is Jeepers, not just a Jeep wave, Jeepers just are connected through just culture and everything else, and it's wonderful. So I own Skippers down here, and it's my way of being able to help get veterans to Washington, D.C. And Holly, how about you?
Well, I came on to help organize the Jeep ride. I'm also a Jeeper myself. I love Skippers, and I'm obviously an advocate for the military. Gary wanted to make this a bigger and better event this year, so he called me in to help organize that and make that happen.
So I've got some friends of mine that are Jeepers, and if people don't understand what that means, it just means people that throw an inordinately large amount of money to maintaining their Jeep. I mean, Jeep. I mean, is the
Well,
brand.
you know what Jeep stands for?
Well,
you know what Jeep stands for, don't you?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Oh no.
Just empty every pocket.
Exactly. Okay. See, I've got friends that have one Jeep that they drive, and then they have like one or two that they just scrap parts off of.
Absolutely.
Which isn't unreasonable. But I've from the guys that I work with that do drive Jeeps, it's just they love it. They do that thing in Colorado. What's that big deal in Colorado? The Jeep Jamboree, or they have that in different areas.
Yeah. Jamborees. There's a few Jeep Jamborees. Well, a lot of Jeepers too are also veterans. If you get to talking to a lot of Jeepers, I would say about 40 to 60, somewhere between 40 to 60% of the people I've talked to are veterans. And I think it's a tie to the Jeep legacy to the military. That's what I think a big part of that is.
Hence the wave.
So you guys are doing a fundraising event that will benefit the Honor Flight Network. If I say anything that's incorrect, please let me know.
Yep.
So Skippers is a cafe / marina in Ohio, and this is funding the tri-state honor network. There's so many different. Not branches, hubs. I think they call them hubs of the Honor Network. There's a Dallas-Fort Worth hub. There's a Phoenix hub. There's everywhere hub for the Honor Network. Tell us about your event.
Skippers is a floating restaurant down here on the Ohio River.
Oh, it's a floating restaurant. That's awesome.
Skippers is a floating restaurant down here on the Ohio River. And the one thing that inspired me to really get involved with a lot of this, I had a guy who was coming down. He sat at the corner of the bar by himself. Come to find out he was a veteran. He suffered from a lot of PTSD. He also lost his wife and kids about 2 years after getting out of the service. And he brought down this flag in a paper bag, and it said duty, honor, courage, and stuff on the four sides of it. And inside of it was an American flag. He said, "You're missing one flag inside your restaurant." And I opened it up, and it was an American flag, and he was right. He said, "This flag has flown over every country that I've fought in." Oh. And that kind of really hit me, because this was a guy who came in, he always got his food to go. He'd drink 2 beers and wait for it, and he would leave. When he brought that flag in, it meant a lot. And I've never asked him about where he served or what he did, because he wasn't ready to talk about it. But it meant a lot. And this place down here is different. That's all I can say, is the way that they look at veterans, the way they look at each other, and people, just differences across the board is amazing. So when I was looking for an event to do, Honor Flight was definitely something I wanted to do. I see a lot of the things on the TV with it. And for 2 years, I tried to run it by myself. I got to give up on that real quick. And needless to say, I voluntold Holly, and she came on board to help me. But I'm going to let her talk about what's going on with this year's Jeep Invasion, and she's just been amazing.
Oh, thank you. Wow. I even had applause. What's up?
Hi, Holly.
So, what we're trying to do is, obviously, we're raising money for Honor Flight. So we decided we were going to do a Jeep ride. We are going to actually start at 10 a.m. in the morning on Saturday, July 29th. We are going to span across 4 different areas. So from starting in New Richmond all the way across the river into Augusta and back. We return here around 5 o'clock that evening, where we are going to have live music. We're raffling off baskets. We have guest speakers coming. We have bottles of bourbon we are raffling off. All of this obviously to raise money for Honor Flight.
So I'm going to jump in there on Holly. So the bourbon that we're raffling off is actually is a whiskey by Three Rangers. Three Rangers is past, present, and future Rangers. Dale Sizemore from the movie Black Hawk Down will be here. He's the guy in the movie that threatened to cut the cast off to be able to go out there. So he'll be here along with another veteran that will be here from an organization where they write songs down with veterans that have PTSD, with songwriters, major songwriters out in Nashville, called Warrior Rounds, and they help those veterans by writing those songs with the veteran's name as a writer on it, and they sing it. So they'll be down here also singing those songs of those veterans that are there, along with Dale Sizemore with the bottles of whiskey from Three Rangers Whiskey, and also a special commemorative label on it for 30-year anniversary of Black Hawk Down, which me and Dale and the guy from Warrior Rounds all served in.
That's fantastic.
Go ahead. You can keep going now. I just filled the details.
Did you lose your train of thought?
We just got off on a little sidestep there.
Gotcha.
A good one though. So we actually have other bar owners involved all the way throughout the ride. We're shutting down streets. We have lunches involved. A lot of people have come. This happen. We're hoping that it's going to be an event that not only will bring in money, but can grow every year. We'd like to see as many vets as we can get to DC.
We're even taking Navy veterans.
He said that, not me.
Oh no, that inter service rivalry is alive and well, and it's always welcome.
Yeah.
Do crayon eaters get a license?
Oh no.
They have to pay a little surcharge, but it's okay. Everyone's welcome. Even Coast Guard and Space Force, all of them.
I had forgotten about Space Force.
Everyone does.
But no,
it's okay.
This event's going to be really good. It costs $600 to send a veteran to Washington, D.C. So for one veteran, they each get a chaperone. The chaperones pay their own way. So the chaperones are paying $600. The veterans got theirs covered for $600. And I would love nothing else than to send a plane load of veterans to Washington, D.C. through this event. So anything I can do to make that happen. Holly gets on me all the time. This also has to be about skippers.
Well, we need money to make money. That's all I'm saying.
Just send veterans. That's all I want to do.
So
the more veterans
our main objective, yes.
Specifically talking about honor flights in general, who's eligible to apply to be on an honor flight?
Got to be 65 years of age. Now it used to be just World War II veterans, but unfortunately we're losing a lot of our World War II veterans. So you got to be 65 years of age to qualify for it, and then you'll be able to go. But it's amazing how many veterans, and you guys know to this. You guys are either serving or you're veterans. How many of these veterans from Vietnam and everything have been forgotten? They weren't welcome home.
Mm-hmm.
So now they get to go out there. They get to see the names on the wall of their friends, their buddies, and everything else. Some of them don't have the money to make it out there. Have never been on a plane, and they're able to go out there. Many of them in wheelchairs and handicap, and that's what the chaperones help them do. Chaperones becomes their best friend for the day. Take them around, have lunch, dinner, whatever with them. It's a round trip. So one day they fly out in the morning, they come back in the afternoon or that evening, and they got a big hero's welcome when they come back every single time at the airport.
So I was looking at honor flight pictures, just looking at images for honor flight, and you're not wrong. I mean, look at this picture here. Probably 100, 150 veterans there. I'll bet you a third of them are in wheelchairs. Yep. So these are all, the older veterans. There's also, I think there's special circumstances for terminally ill veterans and their caregivers and whatnot. But yeah, it's a pretty massive event, and this is not just one event. This happens in every hub all over the United States. This particular hub is the tri-state area of Kentucky, Ohio,
Cincinnati, Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana. Can't forget Indiana.
I used to live in Indiana. God, a long time ago.
You forgot about it, see?
I did.
Forgot about it.
Yeah, I almost lived, or I lived in Indiana, which was almost, it was in New Albany, which is pretty south, pretty close to Kentucky. And you're in the Cincinnati area, New Richmond area, which is like 30 feet away from Kentucky.
Right.
I can see it.
We
right
can
across
see
the
it
river.
from here.
I was gonna say, I was looking at a map, and actually, Kentucky has the most of the water there. It's like, you get to the shore and then it's Ohio.
Kentucky actually owns almost all of the water.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
At Normal Pool, Kentucky owns the Ohio River, and the Cincinnati Airport is in Kentucky.
Oh God.
It's all logistics.
So you've got a lot of events going on. Your thing from New Richmond. You said Augusta, and I'm of course my mind goes Georgia.
Kentucky.
Okay, so you're doing is that an off road trek, or is that just a ride?
It's not
Is like
off-road, so we're going to go down.
like a poker run with Jeeps?
No, it's a trail ride because there's a lot of pavement princesses out there.
They don't want to scratch their Jeep.
Down Route 52.
All the way down the river.
All the way down. Yep. So
Those rims are expensive.
we'll take it all the way down to about Maysville, and we're going to cross the river, and then we're going to have lunch at one or two spots there in
Right.
Augusta, depending upon how many people we get. But my idea is not only to help with veterans, but to bring Jeepers here to see the beauty of this area and the beautiful rides. Kind of like we got tons of motorcycles that come down here, but I do not see a ton of Jeeps. And this is a beautiful area with some great people. I mean, one of the stops is the guy is a veteran, and he's actually donating money directly to the event. So the idea is to get people to see this area and come down here and appreciate it. It's not that far from Cincinnati, but it's a beautiful area with great people. So if I can help bring people to this area, help bring veterans to Washington, D.C., then I feel better.
And it's a great networking event. I mean, it's an opportunity for veterans to get to know other veterans. Like, well, crap, I didn't know you lived 5 miles away, or 10 miles away, or 50 miles away. Someone to hang out with. Maybe go hang out at Skippers.
That's right.
And the local VFW here too. We're working with them to try to get to a couple more events with them with the local VFW. The local VFW here in New Richmond, for years they had put on the Freedom Fest and the fireworks. They took care of organizing that and paying for it. It was not paid for by the government here at all. So it is a community that is really truly based around the principles of America, and I want people to see that and be a part of it.
That's really awesome.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely awesome.
We're hoping for at least 400 Jeeps.
Really?
Good.
Yeah, that's our goal.
Her goal is 400. My goal
That's
is just
right.
to beat double what I had last year.
Which is why he brought me on, because my goals are bigger than his.
She's a little pushy. She's a little pushy. I tell Dale, she reminds me of a command sergeant major in a lot of ways.
I would probably not be bad at that, honestly.
So how did you guys get to know each other? You just, kind of in the same company and have the same goals, or what?
Over there.
Skippers, beer. Yeah, pretty much that's how it happened.
Holly is one of our customers down here. She's one of our loyal customers. Anything that's been needed, Holly's always stepped up for. I mean, even this past weekend when the VFW and we needed these Dora stickers so people could walk around the area with an open container legally, she took the time and volunteered to print them off. And she's just been an amazing person for that stuff, always has been. Even last year for Jeep Invasion, she made signs and everything else for me, and then she complained that I didn't have the sign straight and level enough.
Oh,
geez. I was
geez.
on a hill.
He needs guidance. That's all I'm going to say.
No, but
Lots
honestly,
of guidance.
when I needed to find somebody that I knew was going to take this over and do it justice the way it should be, her name was the first one that came to mind.
So I've got a QR code that's under your picture here on the broadcast. Tell us where that QR code will take us.
Straight to our Skippers Jeep Invasion Facebook page, which is where we are putting the Eventbrite. We actually created an event on Eventbrite. You can register on that link that is actually on that Facebook page. We also are putting up everything. Like today, we listed, hey, tune in to WTF Radio.
Yay.
We're putting up any and all updates. Yeah. So it's basically a catch-all for any information regarding the Jeep Invasion.
Is there a link perhaps maybe to donate? Do you have an online donation link, or?
We do not. However, if someone wants to go to our Facebook page, shoot us a message. Obviously, one of our committee representatives will get a hold of you. Somebody will let you know exactly how we actually have a bank account set up. We have all of that. We have a 501c3 for anyone who wants to donate. If they want to use that as a tax write-off, that's also available. We have an email. They can just shoot us an email if they would prefer. I think I sent that over to you guys as well. I think we've made it pretty. We've given many options as to how to get a hold of us.
The big thing is like it's $25 for the ride. Most motorcycle rides that you go on are between $30 to $50. Lunch is $10. The two stops that we're looking at doing are giving the lunches for $10 for people. And one of them is a Marine veteran. I know he eats crayons. It's not his fault, but
crayons are cheap though, man. You can feed those guys for nothing.
It's cheaper than groceries,
right?
But they're going to take care of things, and I feel really good about it. The other guy that we're stopping at for the lunch stop he's the president of the Bracken County Veterans Association over there. He helps lead all that and raise a lot of money for them. So I'm happy to be able to use them in this event, and they're happy to be a part of it. So I'm utilizing as many veteran organizations and veterans as I possibly can.
Everyone's been wonderful, just stepping up everywhere.
So David Cunningham in our chats is asking, what's the name of the page again? I think it's a Skippers Jeep Invasion. If you look at that, if you type that into the search bar,
that's correct. Yes.
Or click that link, which is the Eventbrite link. That'll take you to.
I think I sent a link for the actual Facebook page. If you have it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Apparently you guys. Yeah. We sent that earlier.
The Skippers 2023 Jeep Invasion is the
correct.
official answer to that question. So your goal is 400 Jeeps?
That's correct.
Do you have like a pre-registration? Do you know, are you on track with that?
Well, we just opened up registration yesterday.
Oh,
so,
okay. Oh, I got you.
Yeah, so we have no idea what we're gonna end up with. But
that's not true. Holly belongs to some Jeep groups, and she's already told me she's going to harass the hell out of them. So I'm sure that she will. That's why I'm going to start calling her Command Sergeant Major.
Guilty. It's already been happening today.
Your phone's going to be blowing up.
Nailing that down. That's right.
Just make sure you know how to turn on that Do Not Disturb so you can get some sleep.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's kind of going to be like a poker run, but it's going to be done with Jeeps. You're going to do the same thing, stop at places along the way.
That's right.
Registration is $25 per vehicle.
That's right.
And $10 for lunch.
And $10 for lunch. You can't beat that. What is anybody doing on July? What is it? 31st, right?
29th.
What's anybody doing on that day? You got a couple hours.
Well, they should be here.
You're driving in the Jeep down
here.
Route 52
That's
and
right.
back on Route 8.
So if you don't have a Jeep, let's just say you have a different off-road vehicle. Are you welcome to register and ride along?
Absolutely.
Only if it identifies as a Jeep.
That only applies to Broncos.
Yeah. So do you
Broncos are the Navy of them. Broncos are the Navy of the world.
I was going to say Air Force because those new Broncos, not just the Bronco Sport. I mean, the Bronco Sport's a four-wheel drive vehicle, but those new Broncos are kind of sharp.
I mean, they're nice. I'm not going to lie, but they're not a Jeep.
They're not a Jeep. They have their faults, but they're pretty sharp looking.
As long as they identify as a Jeep, they can come.
Oh, I got
right.
you. I got you.
And bring your ducks.
Ducks?
Yeah, bring your ducks.
Yeah, I see the guy down there in the picture. He's got all these ducks swimming. He knows what it is.
He knows what's up.
He's been posting this the entire thing. I don't know who the third person is in there, but he knows what the Jeep ducks are about.
Up.
Look at him. He knows. Yeah, he's giving it. Jeeps really are. I mean, there's people that hate being ducked. There's people that love being ducked.
That's right.
I don't know how the ducks started, but I just recycle them. I give them to somebody else and put my card on them.
Yeah. Well, I think it's fun. It's fun to get them. It's fun to give them.
I don't keep Jeep Wave. You got the Jeep ducks. You got.
Yeah.
It was funny when I was married. We walked out of Kroger, and this guy was looking at my Jeep. My wife was like, "That dude's riding a Jeep," and I'm like, "His hands are behind his back." I said, "That's his Jeep over back. He's looking underneath it. He's looking on the inside of it, but he never touched it." It's just kind of a Jeep code. We all look at each other's Jeeps. We can all talk about them and everything else, but Jeepers, no Jeepers.
That's right.
It's actually really good.
Whether you like the ducks or not.
Oh, you got to keep your hands off other
people's. Don't
people's.
put on my dashboard like some people. Some people put them on their dashboard.
I don't. Why do you look at me like that? Like I'm guilty of something. Come on now. They go in my center console.
Well, everyone's got like in-car cameras and dash cams, and
That's right.
No, but if you think about it, even the guys that are serving now, I'm sure they've talked to their grandfather, they've talked to things like that. They've seen the movies on how these Vietnam veterans were welcome back. Fine, take a look at the honor flights when these guys come back and they're actually getting a hero's welcome. Not just family, not just strangers showing up there and welcoming them back with great big banners and cards and everything else. It is really truly amazing, and those guys really overlooked, and I think they deserve that. I think all of them deserve that. I'm able to go to DC a couple times to see my monuments, but the monuments that are up, there's a lot of guys that can't, and this is one way of being able to give, to be able to get there so they can see it, they can see their buddy's name on the wall, and know who they served with. It is amazing if you even see the videos of them at the wall, at the Vietnam Memorial Wall, as they're etching that. And the guys, I mean, some of them got arthritis real bad. Their chaperone is there with them. I mean, the chaperones are just about in tears. So it really means something to them. So the more of them we can get there, the better.
And I'm showing just one of the. I'm just showing one of the pictures now. There's hundreds. There's thousands of pictures because there's.
Nice. Yes.
These honor flights happen all across the United States. It's not just in this tri-state area. It's all over the United States, and there's different hubs and chapters that need funding. So, I mean, I encourage anyone, click on that QR code or go to Eventbrite and throw a couple bucks at this. This is going to be awesome, man. Because until today,
but the people that run,
it's going to be an amazing day.
But the staff of the honor flights are all volunteers. They don't get paid. They don't take any money from it. Most of them are retired military or something like that, and they're running all of these hubs, and they're going out basically asking for money. I mean, why can't I, as a business owner, help with that? I mean, isn't it? I'm no longer able to fight. I'm old, but I can help get veterans to places.
Yeah, agreed.
So when did you serve, sir?
I served from 90 to 94. I served in Somalia for the Battle of Mogadishu, also famously known as Black Hawk Down, and that's where I served at, and that's where I earned my combat medical badge.
Were you a combat medic? I guess that
I was
that would
a combat
be a yes.
medic. I lost. I lost two of my guys from my platoon in that combat, and a couple others with they got some Purple Hearts. But this is the 30th year anniversary for that. I encourage people, if they really want to see the other side of the story, because in the movie they say send in the 10th Mountain Division, like 8 to 10 minutes later, the 10th Mountain Division rolls out. That I love Hollywood because they're the only people that can time warp. That was about 12 to 16 hours.
Yeah, it takes like 3 minutes to get from
with a bathroom
but
break.
There's another documentary out there, and I'm actually working with the producers and the director of that to be able to get some memorabilia and some movies and stuff from that, called The Untold Story of Black Hawk Down. And I encourage people to watch that. If you're a military buff, you like military history, it's The Untold Story. You'll see a younger face, but it talks to everybody from the private all the way up to General Miley at that time period, who was probably sitting at the Pentagon in some big plush chair.
Those are so hard to for me, and I'm speaking for me. Those are so hard to watch, so I don't watch them just because they're heavy. They're heavy. They're real. It happened.
Well, they don't show, and I'm sure you remember that in Somalia when they drug the bodies of Americans through the streets and beat on them.
Yeah,
they don't show that in there, and I've become friends with a lot of the Rangers. And one of the gentlemen who received the Medal of Honor, his sister, I'm pretty good friends with. Just amazing people, just really amazing people.
Yeah, it's just it's the image. I remember seeing it on TV. The image of the guys jumping up and down on the blade of the Black Hawk, and it was horrible. It was gut wrenching. I was at Fort Campbell at the time. The 160th was out. CW2 Durant was at the time.
160th sword.
Yeah, was just everyone was kind of we were sitting in the
Durant
101
was
club
taking
and just like a punch to the gut, going, "Oh fuck." And then everyone went back.
Well, you mentioned that when we came back from the combat, we went back to the barracks and we dropped our gear. And immediately after we consoled each other about the losses of our brothers, we went up to watch the TV. At the time period, there wasn't a Fox News, so we had to watch CNN,
right?
And to see what our family was seeing back home. And immediately when we saw that we didn't have everybody and there was some bodies still out there, we wanted to put our gear back on. And we were told we were combat ineffective. Because we've been out there for 16 hours, even though we still want to roll back out. So I'm sure you guys at Campbell were like, we just want to go. And I get it.
I've been in that bar almost every night, and it was silent in that bar. No music playing. Everyone was glued to the television when that was happening. Of course, CNN was there with all their cameras and shit.
Yeah, they were there too, and the Marines came ashore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know quite how they got there before the Marines, but
we didn't even have email back then.
No, we didn't even have Facebook.
No,
I didn't have a cell
yet.
phone. I remember standing in line at the. I remember standing in a line at the PX with the guy that's down there in the bottom corner, down here at the bottom of the screen. The guy had a long beard. He had the little Ranger panties on and a T-shirt. And he's wearing M16, and he looks at.
He's offended.
He looks at me and he says, "Are you a medic?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "They only gave you 3 magazines?" I said, "Yeah." So he handed me like 5 more. So I laid them out for equipment inspection. And Platoon Sergeant came by and says, "Knock 3, 8. Doc, where'd you get these?" I said, "I don't know. Some guy with a beard with Ranger panties gave them to me." He said, "Doc, don't lay them out anymore." I was like, "Okay."
I found them.
He has them in his drawer.
Yeah, I like how he's laughing at the bottom. He's about to die. He's about to fall over.
So this Jeep.
Who has panties.
So this Skipper's Jeep Invasion.
Nobody else knows what Ranger panties are, but those who serve. Go ahead. Sorry.
So the Skipper's Jeep Invasion is going to be happening on July 29th, which is just a couple weeks away. So go to the Skipper's 2023 Jeep Invasion. Oh, where'd you go? Where'd y'all go?
Facebook page.
Oh, there you are. You're back.
We're
Skipper's 2023 Jeep Invasion.
Come to our. Yeah, come to our page, donate. I mean, even if you go to Skipper's this page, you'll find me on it. If you got to call me, my phone number, my freaking Facebook page, to make donations to Washington, D.C.
Your email's on there. All your contact information is on there. You guys are all above board. This isn't just 2 folks we found by the marina. So we wish you a whole bunch of success, and that QR code on there is going to take you right to the Facebook page, and you're going to find all of the necessary links. We're having some connection issues with Gary and Holly. It may be. I think it's a wireless thing or a internet thing. But yeah, feel free to snap that QR code. I guarantee it's safe. I did it. It's going to take you right to the Facebook page, and then you can find all the necessary links from there. And we have a whole bunch of other links here in the chats on all of our different pages to the Eventbrite page, as well as their Facebook page.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you very much, and everybody that donates and has listened to us, thank you very much. And even if you don't donate, you can't donate or whatever.
Come out.
Yeah, come out. Shoot me an email. Tell me your story. I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do now is to stop veterans and ask them their story. So,
share our page.
Share the
Eventbrite
page. Whatever you can do to help us out.
Or come volunteer. If you don't have a Jeep, you don't want to ride, that's okay. Come volunteer. We need lots of volunteers as well.
If you're a Toyota, it's okay. Just come volunteer.
Brutal.
How dare you?
So do you have do you have any like of the old, like the Korean War, the era, like the Jeep in a box thing? You know, the Jeep comes in a box, you just bolt it together and there it goes.
Oh, I wish I had a Jeep in a box. I've seen those pictures. I've seen those pictures and those videos of the Jeep in a box. I wish I had a Jeep in a box, but I don't. But yeah, I've seen the pictures. I would love to have one of them. My problem is I'd be taking it apart and putting it back together.
Well, what every Jeep owner does is they take it apart and put it back together and try to make it better. They just try to tweak it and hack it or whatever.
He has a name. On my Jeep.
Well, I'm not gonna go there.
To call it frickin' Jeep. Is Golden Dragon.
All right, guys. I think we're going to part ways. If you can hear me, I wish you the best of luck. I'm going to keep in touch with Amy and see how things are going. I wish you the best of luck. We're going to cut to break. I'm going to bring Pookie back, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. This is like break number 2. I got to set this up here. This is on the fly.
There he goes.
Break.
I think it looks like it might be.
I just want to know who the guy in the bottom is.
He's funny.
He is hilarious.
That's me. I'm Pookie, and hello.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
All right, everybody, we are back for the final segment of Friday Night Freedom here on WTF Nation Radio. My name is Kaz, and that up there is Pookie. I know you haven't seen him in a while, but here he is.
Yes.
Your beard looks longer.
Maybe. I don't know. Trying to grow it out. I want Gandalf and Grey level stuff it in my beard, belt and shit. You know, like thou shalt not pass, motherfucker.
All right, so we're back. We're gonna wrap this up. Thank you very much, Gary and Holly, for being here. I apologize that the connection wasn't what everyone would have hoped, but I think we got the message, man. We got this effort going down in the New Richmond / Cincinnati area to raise funds for the Tri-State Honor Flight Network. You know, Honor Flight Network is like a big umbrella, and then there's a bunch of feeders that go into it. So each Honor Flight has a city. It's basically a city. I think there's 150 different nodes or hubs, if you will. But they all have fundraising efforts in place. This one happens to be in the Cincinnati area. So, and that's what we're focusing on. That QR code on there was a legit a link to the Facebook page, which will take you to an Eventbrite link that will take you to the page where you can send a message and donate. If you want to participate, it's $25 a vehicle, $10 for lunch. That just sounds like a great day. It really sounds like a great day. That's a great part of the country. It's not oppressively hot like Phoenix, which is 13 feet from the sun.
No.
So you go out and have a good time, man. If you're in the area, stop by, say hi, go to Skippers, and get a plate of food. Talk to some folks, man. I heard it's a really great place, especially for veterans. This is a great opportunity for veterans to network together, talk with each other, get to know a new friend, get out of your comfort zone, I suppose, and have fun. So we got shows 6 nights a week. This week we have shows on Tuesday and Wednesday because Ice is still doing his things and stuff. And actually, no. As far as I know, we got a Sunday show. So Sunday's a sports bar. If you ever listen to or participated in the sports bar, you know it's a place for you to go and listen to and talk about all things sports. I haven't heard them talk about bowling, or badminton yet, or women's soccer.
or heavy combat. I keep trying to get him to talk about that, but he just doesn't want to talk about that.
Are you talking about like an MMA combat or like with swords and shit?
Heavy combat's like MMA with swords and shields. Yes, I want him. Like King really needs to get into that because I think he would enjoy that.
All right, the real King Smith. You kind of look like a gladiator to me. Well, you might as well talk about it since you look like it.
Yes.
So,
I witnessed a practice in Colorado. We were just driving around, and there was an actual like league practicing out in the park somewhere. And I was like, I want to go out there and just start with some sticks, just like see what I can do, man. Like, fuck. Dude.
Hey, do you want to? This reminds me of Step Brothers. Hey, you want to go and do the garage and do karate?
Yeah, it's like screw your armor. I got my skin. Let's do this. 3 minutes later, I'm in the hospital. What happened? Well, I tried to tackle a dude in full body armor.
Did he hit you? No, I cut myself on
No, I destroyed myself just trying.
It's funny, I got a friend of mine. She's a veteran. We served together. Her husband has since passed, but she gets by playing D&D. She does D&D every weekend.
D&D is awesome. That's a good outlet. I tell people all the time, like if you got like. That's a good like PTSD kind of release too, because you can actually sit and talk to your people and not have to act like yourself. You can act in the third party.
You can act in the third party, and then the dungeon master goes, "You want a what with the what?
Why is there skin suits? Where did the skin suits go?"
So anyway, that's the sports bar on Sunday. Monday is the Monday edition. There's not going to be a show this week. Tuesday is Pop Culture Warrior. This week, Pop Culture Warrior is going to be talking to David Hayter, the voice of Solid Snake on Metal Gear. This guy's been doing voices since 1979. He's been around a minute. So that's going to be on Tuesday 11. You know what's cool? I was reading his bio. He does. Oh God, I can't remember it. He's got so many things on his bio. So look up David Hayter on IMDb and look at all of his credits, man. It's really amazing and impressive. Then Mark Ridge is going to be on the Smoke Pit on Wednesday, and he looks a whole lot like Pookie, but he plays a guitar and he sings. And our other shows are Sergeant's Time on Thursday, and then we're back here every other week for Friday Night Freedom. Hey, Pookie. You got some famous parting words for our lovely audience.
Yeah, like I say, like always, don't drink and drive. Don't beat your spouse. Don't kick your dogs. Don't drink and drive.
Don't boat and drive. Don't boat and boat.
Boat and drive.
Don't drink and boat.
Don't commute and boat, whatever, in
don't
Canada.
Convey.
You can't do
don't convey and drink.
And don't fly American Airlines. And
but how? Okay, you flew to Colorado. You certainly didn't walk, and you didn't drive because you don't drive. So how was your trip? Was it cool?
No, I flew Southwest and it was awesome.
It was good? No delays, no hang-ups?
The only hang-up I had was coming home and my bag got misplaced, but I got it 2 days later, so no big deal.
They drove it to you?
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. We're out of here, man. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much for tuning in. And don't forget about the Honor Flight fundraiser that is going to be happening in 2 weeks. It's going to be happening on the 29th of July. We'll be posting some links to it throughout the week, so please pay attention. Maybe follow it if you're feeling generous. We appreciate it. If you're not, maybe send them a hey, just here's my story, or good luck, or something like that. Anyway, thank you, Gary and Holly, for being here. My name is Kaz, and that's Pookie, and have a great weekend.
My friend came to the door. She said, well, I was on the phone cooking me and my baby some breakfast. And she said, hey, something wrong. It's popping. I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, no. So the girl come downstairs. She come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, oh, girl, it's cold outside. She said, something ain't right. I said, oh, man. She said, oh, man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. This is WTF Nation Radio.